Hey, good morning. Is this thing on? What's up? Happy Wednesday. Happy trash day. By the way, yes, the trash is at the curb. It's only trash week, so I'm not as concerned, but I was actually getting ready for bed and I looked out the window thanks to my neighbors. I saw that the trash can was out on the curb and it triggered. So I ran back downstairs, took the trash out to the curb. Here we are. Of course, it's raining. It always seems to rain fall and spring. It always seems to rain on trash day. We haven't had rain in like 2 weeks. Of course, it's raining on trash day. Um, but being at home, it's not as bad. Like if I was at the office, trash pickup comes around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm already at the office and it rains all day. And usually, like once they empty the trash into the garbage truck, they put it back on the curb and the lid stays open. So if it rains all day, you get rain, and then there's like leftover stuff that didn't fall out. So if you like dump it out, then you've got a bunch of wet trash. Not a bunch, but you've got pieces of white trash that fall out and you have to pick that up. So it's not as bad if it's raining and I'm home. So here we are. Trash day, trash day. Jenny's here. Good morning, Hobby Universe. What's up, Jenny? George, good evening to you. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Ed, good morning. Fall Creek is in the house. Something Sports Cards, what is up? Brian Wolf says, happy 700. Can you believe this is the 700th episode? I am a little bit in shock that we made it this far. Jenny says it's raining here too. I'm okay with it. Makes it easier to be productive when it isn't 70 and sunny. Totally agree. 100%. I've found myself in the last week and a half, since like fall has really arrived, it's been crisp. Yesterday was like yesterday wasn't like the definition of October days, but the definition to me of an October day is it's just cloudy and just nasty looking, but and maybe some like rain. It like sprinkled a few times here and there yesterday, but no like downpours. And then just like this crisp, cold air, leaves are falling. It just looks nasty outside, and it was like that yesterday, though it was a little warmer. It wasn't cold, and it's warm right now. It's like 60 right now, which is nice for mid-October at 7 a.m. So we had that yesterday, and it's like I just want to like curl up on the couch and watch a movie. But I didn't. I was productive, and I listed, and I shipped, and I shipped, and I listed. For a brief period of time, I was over 24,000 active listings. But even better, I fell below that mark because I made a lot of sales. So that's I like hitting those benchmarks on active listings, but even more so, I like it when I drop down below them because I made a lot of sales. So I did briefly surpass. In fact, I made a ton of sales because I think I peaked last night. I think I was at 24,040. And right now I'm at 23,980. So that's what 60 sales. That's pretty good. I sold my last Kenny Pickett auto. It was just sitting there and I sent an offer and didn't expect it to get accepted. Accepted. Did not expect it to get accepted. And it did. So I was very happy. That was a great surprise last night. So my sales, I looked at my sales this morning on eBay, and I'm like, I knew the bar graph was going to be really high yesterday because of that Kenny Pickett sale was gonna kick it up a little bit. So I knew it was going to be higher than normal, and it was. But even subtracting that Kenny Pickett sale, my sales were still really high. Higher than my benchmark, kind of significantly higher. So that was a fun little stat to look at this morning. Victor, what's up? It's raining here too, 60 degrees. Congrats on the big 700. Thank you very much. Zach and Porter, morning from a gym at Weston. Happy 700 from Porter. Little known fact, he always tells me how many episodes you are away from a milestone. That's awesome. That is so cool. I decided yesterday when I was at 699, I'm like, you know what? I haven't done like a celebratory episode because it's been 100 since we've hit a milestone. Unless you count the 650, I don't really count. Like 750 is kind of I think 750 is a milestone. 650, not so much. 700, it's an even number. 600, I can take it. 500, big number. So yeah. So 750 will be in what? So basically 50 days, but there's going to be a few days where I won't do live episodes. So 50 days from now is what? November 12th, December 12th. So probably early December. We'll hit 750 in early December. Let's see. Flawed Thinker is here. What's up, Terry Alexander? Good morning. Flawed Thinker says, was just approved as a Whatnot seller, just trying to expand. You know, I have not explored Whatnot. I've had a couple dealers from various shows talk about it. And I started the download process, and then there was like, you had to upload some things, and I'm like, screw this. I don't have time right now. And I never circled back to it. So I have not and I'm a one platform seller. So I'm just gonna stay. And I don't know, this is a good question. Will Whatnot survive? And I think this has been a topic that many people have discussed here, especially recently, and you know, even going back the last year. We've seen so many new companies arise during this hobby boom. And of course, as we've talked about it, we're on kind of a downhill slide of the boom. Which companies survive? Because not many of them will, and that's just a fact. Actually, no, that's not a fact because we don't know. But it's likely that most of these new companies won't survive, and I'm curious which ones do stick. I haven't heard much about Whatnot lately. I mean, it was like a couple months ago, a few months ago, early summer, midsummer, it was all the talk, and I'm like, damn, Whatnot's going to be like this next big thing. But I don't know. It's really, really hard to compete with an eBay. I mean, eBay has number one, the one thing you can't compete against: time. You can't make up for lost time, and eBay's been running strong for 25 years plus. So that's really hard to break in and be a true competitor with a massive giant like eBay. But there are other platforms, obviously, that can and will survive. You know, there's other platforms out there, selling platforms, and it's basically the platform that survives has to find a niche. You know, I think eBay's all encompassing. ComC has their niche. Sportlots has its niche. What else is there? Those are the kind of like the big three that I think of currently. I'm sure I'm missing something, aren't I? But you know, there's a lot of companies out there that have come up, and it's like, and it's basically like when you're starting anytime you're starting a business, it's like, is there what, you know, you do a market analysis. Is this sustainable? Is there demand in the market for something like this? And if there's, you know, if you don't do your due diligence, you know, it's not going to last. A lot of, you know, in the card show scene, a lot of the new card shows popping up will not survive because they're just late to the party, or there's demand elsewhere. And when I started when my partner and I at the time started the Madison Card Show last April, it's like there's definitely a need. Shout out to Johnny, because he pushed me to do a show, and there was a need in this market for a card show. You know, whether or not, you know, will it be 125 sellout tables with a waiting list, you know, a year from now? Probably not. I think there's going to be a decline, and I'm already seeing that circle, that big circle of I've got dealers from Madison or from Minneapolis, and a dealer from Fargo, a lot of Chicago dealers, and I'm starting to see that circle kind of getting tighter, where there's been, you know, up until 6 months ago, there was hardly any shows, as Jenny can attest, in Minnesota. Like, there are hardly any shows up there. But now promoters there saw, hey, there's demand. We've got dealers driving 3 hours to Madison to set up at the card show. Now there's card shows in Minnesota, and it's hurting it's hurting, you know, me from getting new, different dealers to Madison. Not hurting for dealers, but you know, that circle is getting tighter. So, but we got winter coming up, and you know, when you have, and that's the downside to having a big circle. When you hit December, January, February, and even into March, when you have dealers driving in from 3 hours out and there's a snowstorm, and now it's all of a sudden there's empty tables. So that's the downside here in the upper Midwest with having a large footprint in the winter months. So kind of went off on a tangent there. Let's get back into the chat. Where are we at? We've got oh, I went from Flawed Thinkers being approved as a whatnot seller to a footprint at card shows. David, good morning. P&W says Bowman U hobby boxes on sale for $75 at Cardiacs. What's Cardiacs? Please tell me. I am all in. $75 hobby boxes. Tell me where. Drop P&W. You get a wrench. Drop that link, please, because I will probably buy them mid-show. $75 for Bowman U hobby boxes. Yes. I'm doing really well on Bowman U sales. Like I sold a Kenny Pickett auto last night. I out of my hobby case, I pulled 2 autos of Kenny Pickett. Both have now sold. Pulled another, like a Lava Wave refractor. It's sold. Other cards, I made a few sales yesterday on Bowman U hits. So, and I still have a ton to list. I haven't even like started to list like most of my pink refractors from the blaster boxes. Usually I'll pull and I'll sell like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and any player that like has a big game. I'll like, Blake Corum, or, you know, I've still got some big, I think I have a Brock Bowers, like numbered to 99 auto that I have not listed yet. So I still have some decent Bowman U cards that, you know, and Bowers has been a good seller. So that's one that I should probably put on the bay, as the kids say. Ricardo, what's up? Congrats on 700. Thank you very much. Abraham, what is up? Happy 700. Appreciate that. And you know what? Here's the thing. This show wouldn't be at 700 episodes without you who's listening, watching, and especially chatting. Because if there was no chat to the show, it wouldn't be a show. You know, how often do I come in and 30 seconds in, I really don't have a topic to talk about today. What do you want to talk about? And the chat runs it. And we just have our own little 7 a.m. coffee community talking about cards and food and garbage day and whatever else comes to mind. So yeah, without the collective of listeners and chatters, we would not be here at 700 episodes. Herman, what's up? Ricardo, 762 is the big number. There you go. Speaking of milestones, Card Hobbyist, what's up? Good morning. Brian says, whatnot is rough. It's super hard to break even. Been bleeding slowly on there since day one. Oof. And I've heard, I don't know if whatnot is my audience. And I just based on what people have told me, basically reviews I've heard, it's kind of, I think the term that I've actually heard the most, wild, wild west. And so when I think, my brain goes back to eBay in 1999 when I think wild, wild west in online sales. So maybe I'll just steer clear. Based on everything else I've heard, and now with Brian's statement there, maybe I'll just steer clear. Jenny says, my opinion, not enough people know about the other selling platforms, so sales and auctions will never be as good as eBay, my opinion. And I think that's totally accurate. Sport lots, it seems like they're finally, thank God, finally making some positive direction in that. I have long said they need somebody to market. Like, they need a marketing person because it is, I mean, look at me. It's what I specialize in. Cheap cards, low dollar cards. And it's a clunky, and it appears they're making strides in the design of their website, which hopefully will be modernized and easier to navigate. Navigation is the biggest, I think the biggest issue, along with getting exactly what Jenny said. People just don't know, like, how many collectors have I talked to? Like, I'm selling quarter cards and basically Sport Lots is an online quarter box. And I bet 95% of the customers that, just in casual speak, anecdotal number I'm throwing out, when I talk about Sport Lots, they're like, what's that? I've never heard of it. And it's shocking to me, especially coming from like a consumer base that's what they would buy. Like, they want an online quarter box, and that's Sport Lots. And it's almost, I almost feel like I should be keeping it like, I should not be promoting it, because people will go to Sport Lots, and a card that I have for $1.50 in my eBay store is 20 cents on Sport Lots. Now, caveat, my $1.50 listing has free shipping. Sport Lots does not. So you're going to have to pay something for shipping. Zach and Porter said, could kabooms have been the sign of the end for the boom? But something sports cards says they will survive because sports cards are just a small portion of their platform. You can sell anything on Whatnot. That I did not know. Thank you for that anecdote. I did not know you could sell anything on Whatnot. That's interesting. That is interesting. Boston Smoke in here. What's up? Good morning. Congrats on 700. Thank you very much. Let's see. Brian K. Ginger Wisdom says Whatnot is pretty diverse. Okay, so you're starting to sway me back a little bit to like curiosity stage. Herman says Backyard had everyone talking about Whatnot. Aha. So and I'm not a big fan. And that's just I'm not a fan of the Backyard breaks. Lots of products beyond cards. Brian says Loop app has a local card shop in Miami that's pretty good on prices, but their app is a ghost town. So I have, and I actually talked with, oh man, what's his name? Is it Eric? I think it's Eric from Loop. Super nice guy. I had a discussion with him several months ago, and I explored the Loop app, and I checked out. There were some videos on there, and I think, and I think that what Brian says there is the app is a ghost town, and I think that's just, the sign of the times. I think what happened, that maybe they got on too late, and not enough people. It didn't stick. You know what I mean? It didn't stick. It came on toward the end. It had potential, but the timing just wasn't right. Timing is everything. So yeah, I am aware, and I did kind of peruse the Loop app. I watched some videos on there just to check it out. So I was aware of that. eBid, who has free listings and no fees, can't even compete with eBay. There you go. Remember Yahoo Auctions? So I'm gonna tangent here. Yahoo Auctions back in 1998, 99. I want to get back to the chat where I don't lose my spot. Okay. So back in like 98, 99, I was a dorky little high school kid, and I think we probably all were. And so I grew up, we didn't have much money. So I certainly wasn't one of the first to have the internet or a computer or anything like that. I usually had kind of like the cheap alternative. So when my friends were getting computers, I got a word processor, which I'm thankful for because it really gave it kind of showed me a love for spreadsheets and databases. So I think that's kind of where my love of using Excel originated. Typing on my little word processor, I would create databases of baseball cards and wrestling names back when I was a wrestling nerd in the mid 90s and all that stuff. So my first internet, I didn't get a computer. So I was 98, I would have been like a sophomore in high school, junior in high school, like sophomore, junior year. And couldn't afford a computer, but got the alternative because back then there was a thing called web TV. It was the internet on your TV. Basically, it was basically like a cable box, and then you had like a wireless keyboard that you just basically, we had it in our living room, and the cable box on top of, well, we didn't have cable, so we just had the web TV box, and I would sit down in like the recliner of the chair and type on the keyboard, and it was internet on your TV. I don't even think there was I'm sure there was an accessory of a mouse that you could add on, but I think I just had the keyboard. And that was my first. I discovered there was this online auction place called eBay, and you could find all kinds of cool sports stuff. And I was working, so I was the typical small town boy with a paper route. And then once you get old enough, you graduate from the paper route and you go bag groceries at IGA. That was like the small town boy route. As my GPS says, route. So I had a job from the time I was like 11. Like I was working. I had a paper route. I would help my brother. My brother owned some like rental properties. I would help him landscape for like less than minimum wage. But hey, it was not easy money, but it was money. And then once I got into high school, I started working at the IGA. And so I had disposable income as a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, because I don't think I had quite turned when I got web TV. Well, I got web TV in like 98. So maybe it was just before my 16th birthday. So I had web TV. I discovered eBay. Yahoo Auctions was also a thing. And I was buying like Cubs stuff on eBay with my paper route and grocery store money. But Yahoo Auctions, this is where I wanted to go with the story. Yahoo had an auction to compete with eBay. That didn't last long. And the coolest thing I ever found that I ever bought, it was a scrapbook, okay? It was a scrapbook of a former Cubs player who had like a cup of coffee with the Chicago Cubs in like 1955. His name, and you can look it up, Vern Morgan. I think he played like 7 games or 12 games or something to that effect for the Cubs in 1955. So this was his like personal scrapbook from like his minor league years leading in I think it all predated his time in Chicago. That might have been a separate scrapbook that was sold separately. I paid like $10 for this scrapbook. And I think that was $10 shipped because, of course, postage back then was probably $2 to ship this big, heavy scrap. It wasn't too heavy, but it included like home photos, those black and white decal edge photos. Had a bunch of those from like in his uniform with the Selma Cubs minor league affiliate. It had all of his contracts. It had, I think there were like 4 contracts because it had each of his contracts for each of the minor league franchises he played for, and including his professional contract with the Chicago Cubs. It had a letter on Cubs letterhead addressed to him. And this, I think most of this was 1948, leading up to 1948-49. And it was a letter on Cubs letterhead from like the Cubs president saying, we want to include you in the 1949 Chicago Cubs yearbook. Can you include, and they wanted to use like an autograph, like, the fake autograph. So can you send us an example of your autograph so we can like stamp that in the yearbook? And so on the back of this letter, he was practicing his autograph that he would send in to the Chicago Cubs. Just fascinating stuff. So I had this for several years. So I bought this in like 98 or 99, $10 on Yahoo Auctions. I kept it because it's such a unique, cool item. I had little invested in it. I would show it, it was a showpiece. I would show it, and I had a boss when I worked in radio, and I think it was his wife's grandfather was like a old school diehard Cubs fan. And he's like, and so my boss was also a woodworker on the side, and he goes, would you sell me that? Would you sell me his contract? And I want to create like a two-sided frame so it can be on like kind of a rotator, like a spinner type deal. So it's like a wood frame with glass. So you can it spins around and you can see both sides of the contract, because it was like two-sided. So I'm like, no, I'm going to keep it. Finally, like 2 years later, I'm like, you know what? I probably had like credit card debt. I'm like, you know what? I'll sell it. And I think he paid me like $100 for it. I think it was a significant amount. And I had the whole scrapbook that I paid 10 for. So he paid me $100 for it, and I had the rest of it. Long story short, well, this is already a long story. I had the rest of it. It's like I went into like purge mode. I sold it on eBay. Okay. I sold the rest of the scrapbook, all the photos, just all the like ephemera. Is that what you call ephemera? It had all it had all of his minor league contracts dating up to whatever year it was. The letter where he practiced, like everything minus the Chicago Cubs contract, put it on eBay. Oh, I'm still kicking myself. However, it does have a happy ending. Vern Morgan was originally from, I think, like Richmond, Virginia area. I think he grew up in like a small town around Richmond. Fortunately, I put it on eBay, and a historical society or museum, I think it was like the Richmond Historical Museum or something, bought it on eBay. So it went to like a museum where he grew up. So I'm curious if it's still there. Like, I'd be curious if like it's on display or just if it's there. So it does have a happy ending. It's in a proper place because, even though it's a cool piece, and here's what I tell myself, even though it's a cool piece and I wish I still had it, at the end of the day, what good is it doing here in my collection? It would probably just be sitting in a bookcase, and every once in a while I'd take it out, put pictures on Twitter or whatever. So I think it's a cool piece where people from his hometown can view it. So if that's even the case, hopefully that is the case. Let's think that is the case. Vern Morgan, and he passed away. I think by the time that when I bought the scrapbook off the Yahoo Auctions, which was like 98, I think he had already I think he passed away pretty young, if I remember correctly. I think he was maybe only in his 40s. I mean, I guess I have the internet in front of me. This isn't 1998 on web TV. Vern Morgan Cubs. Let's do the old typeroo. Let's go to Wikipedia. Yeah, he died in 1975 at the age of 47. Wow, he passed away in Minneapolis. Looks like he had to have a kidney transplant, and his body rejected the kidney. That's sad. That's really sad. He played 31 games for the Chicago Cubs between 1954 and 1955. Let's see. Oh wow! So he was actually in the big leagues when he when he died. He was on the coaching staff of the Minnesota Twins for 7 seasons until 1975, when kidney disease ended his career and eventually his life. So Vern Morgan. Let's see. Where are we at? Jenny says, speaking of card shows, anyone local to Minnesota, there's a 3-day show at the Maplewood Mall, Friday through Sunday. Where's Maplewood Mall? If you tell me it's Maplewood, Minnesota, I'll duh. eBay always works. Ooh, forgot I have a PSA box to open. All 1971 baseball. Nice. I did receive, I don't have it on me. I did tweet it last night, though. A 19, I think it's 35 Gaudy, the foreign ones. And it's all Cubs, Kiki Kyler, Woody English, 2 other guys. I can't remember who else is on the card. But that came in my mailbox yesterday. I'm going to submit, it's raw. I'm going to submit it to SGC through my buddies at 5 Star Cards. They'll be at the Madison Card Show. They'll be at the Midwest Premiere this weekend, by the way. 250 table show at the Indoor Sports Center in Loves Park, Illinois. That's this Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th. Show hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then the Madison Card Show is a week from Saturday, October 22nd, at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Dan says, today is my wedding anniversary. I remembered, but my wife didn't score some points for me. Well, happy anniversary, Dan. Today is yesterday was my wife's grandma's 96th birthday. So, and she's still with us. We're going to go out to dinner tonight. We're going to Ruth Chris. So I'm going to have to wear my nice blue jeans tonight. Okay, let me ask this. I am, and especially now that I don't have to go to I haven't had to wear khakis or a button-down shirt in over a year, and I freaking love it. I always wear jeans, but sometimes I wear the holy, yesterday I wore jeans. There was a hole in the knee, just a small hole, but it's I can do that. You don't want to, I don't want to go to Ruth Chris with holy jeans. So I have now I have lots of pairs of these are the yard mowing jeans, and there's a scale. There's okay, these are the lawn mowing jeans that I can get really dirty. Okay, if I'm going to dig out the garden, if I'm going to just get in that soil and get dirty and all that, which happens once a year for me. I don't get my hands dirty that often. I have that pair of jeans. And then I have a pair of jeans that just have a hole, and it's yeah, I'm going to, go do some yard work. This will do. And then I have yesterday's jeans where there's just a small hole. I don't want to go out to dinner in these jeans. But if I have to run to the post office or Walmart, Target, the grocery store, I can get by. And then I have a nice pair of jeans where it's okay, if I'm going out in public, not Walmart, Target, or the grocery store, these will do. And then I have the nice jeans. And these are the very nice jeans. And they're, I can go to Ruth Chris in these jeans. So that's same with shoes. I have one shoe for every occasion. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that has that. But it's I don't have multiple nice jeans. I have multiple yard working holy jeans, but I only have one pair of nice jeans, maybe two. Let's see. So last night or yesterday was my wife's grandma's 96th birthday. And then tomorrow is my wife's birthday. Not a milestone. And she's not to the age, she's not to the age where we just openly, tell her age. Tomorrow's her birthday. So we're gonna split the uprights and go to dinner tonight at Ruth Chris with my mother-in-law, my wife, and grandma. Let's see. Pepino Man, what is up? We have a big card show in LA coming called the Del Mar Show. Hope I can attend. Very nice. Jenny says, let's rip a Bowman U Blaster for episode 700. Let's pull a 101. That's a good idea. Mark Hoyle, good morning. What's up? Card Hobbyist says, I'm feeling old this morning by being excited for rain that I haven't seen in 3 weeks. Hey, I'm kind of with you. Yesterday it was just nasty and overcast. And thank you, P&W, for the link. I'll open that up right now. But it's you know what? We need the rain, even though it's mid-October and the grass is going to die soon anyway. It's kind of nice. and it keeps me in the house. Although the weather, it's to that point where I just want to be inside anyway because it's getting colder. Brian says, this is why I didn't like Chronazio. Seems like they wanted to charge me to sell on their site whether I wanted to or not. Yeah, there's a lot, and that's probably my main takeaway from Chronazio is it's directly connected to eBay, so it's not like you get X number of scans for X price. It's like you get X number of scans, but then I can't remember how it works, but it doesn't come out as crisp and clean. Card Dealer Pro does. Not a paid sponsorship, but I love Card Dealer Pro. You get that 7-day trial subscription. It's easy. Right on the website, you can click, have a talk with Ted, and it's super easy. And like 10,000 scans, upload it to eBay means 10,000 scans. And initially, when I used, because I didn't know, I was assuming when I started using Card Dealer Pro, and this, if you haven't tried it out yet, this may help you, because this was the first thing that I'm like, wait, this isn't like Chronazio. Chronazio has like a deal set up with eBay. So like you can upload straight to eBay. Card Dealer Pro, there's that extra step where you have to upload it using File Exchange on eBay. Now, the spreadsheet's like ready to upload. Like you don't have to go copy and paste anything. Like you just export that spreadsheet, save it to your desktop, and then go to eBay, go to uploads, upload, boom, your file, and you're good to go. So that's the one thing with Card Dealer. That was my first surprise. It's like, whoa, wait, how do I get this to eBay? Do I have to connect my eBay username? How do I do this? And then it's like, oh no, you just upload it. It's basically like File Exchange. So if you're familiar with File Exchange, it's that minus setting up the spreadsheet, because Card Dealer Pro already has that done for you. Thank you, P&W, for that link. Let's go shopping. So P&W's link is Bowman U Cardiac Sports and Memorabilia Hobby Box. Oh dear Lord, $74.95. What else do they have on here? So they've got a 2021 Bowman Hobby Box for $220. That seems like a pretty good deal. Cardiacs, Apex, North Carolina. Interesting. So I'm not familiar with this company. Cardiac Sports and Memorabilia. Let's go to the About Us page. Just says contact us. I wonder how many I can buy. Quantity. Oh, wow, I can buy a lot. Still clicking. Ooh, I can buy 40. Let's see. How many do I want to buy? How many should I buy? How many Bowman U Hobby boxes should I buy? 20? 10? I don't know. I need to think about this. Let's see. P&W said I had to jump on it. You turned me onto Bowman U. Awesome product. I agree. I freaking love it, and I want to buy more. And it's $75. I will. Hello, Paige and Dee Bean. And since we're on a Bowman U kick, we are, thanks to Jenny, going to open a blaster box here because it's the 700th Extravaganza. DJ Local, you were going to catch Pujols in no time. Oh, yeah. What's Pujols at? 7:04. Well, I guess he's done. He likely retired. 7:04. So episode 704, I think that's how many home runs Pujols hit. 704. So we're at 700. Today is Wednesday. 701 will be Thursday. 702 will be Friday. But 703 won't come until Monday. So Tuesday will be episode 704. Because, by the way, I will be in Loves Park for the Midwest premiere Friday and Saturday morning. So no Hobby Evolution Saturday morning or Sunday morning this week. But I will do a live walkthrough at some point Saturday. Now, this is a new show, so I don't know, what time that will be. The show starts at 10. So it'll probably be, usually I go live in the 10 o'clock hour at the Madison Card Show, because that's my best time as far as I'm, done showing vendors around, new vendors, and getting things situated. And I also want to, do video when there's like a decent amount of people, and that tends to be between 9 and noon. So the 10 o'clock hour is the best time on Saturday morning to do that. But this show starts at 10 a.m. So it might be in again, it's the first show. I don't know. So I may not even have a chance to do a live, but I would like to. Maybe it's in the afternoon. I don't know. But don't don't 100% hold me to it. Paige and Teeny Bean says, "Whatnot may be the new late night infomercial baseball cards." That's kind of the sentiment that I'm hearing. It's kind of like that. Brian says, "Sports Lot, LOL." Nope, never heard of them. Really? So Brian, I don't know what your lane is in terms of collecting or cards, but Sport Lots is a set builder's dream. There's the garbage truck. It's a good thing I started taking. I mean, I learned my lesson a few weeks ago, but that damn garbage truck's already picking up garbage at 7:40. That's really early. So now I have to take it out the night before. Where are we at, Brian? So Sports Lots. It's if you're a set builder, if you like oddball cards, like I early on in my 1 million Cubs project, which, by the way, I know I haven't updated a number yet. I'm still kind of counting through the last Goodwill palette, collection, just various things. I've got another count coming. I am still collecting, closing it on 1 million, slowly but surely. I'm at around 835,000 Cubs cards. But I would buy oddball cards. I was collecting a lot of Javi Baez singles. In fact, the Javi Baez market is down, so I might get better deals on some of the Javi Baez cards on Sport Lots. So maybe, and I've missed out because I haven't been, trading a lot, so I'm not getting a lot of the newer products. So anyway, Sport Lots, it's great as a buyer for picking up some of those oddball cards. What the hell just happened? Something went wrong. Please try again. Okay, we'll just take that out of my pocket. So yeah, sportlots.com. It's Sport Lots. So it's sportlots.com. Card Hobbyist says, "I liked selling on Sport Lots before their fee structure forces you very much to front load a ton of inventory, which is clunky to do." I agree. So the fix, so if you do want to sell on Sport Lots, here's put your store in vacation mode. And just front load it. And yeah, you do have to do a lot of front loading, but you don't have to have it active. So spend a month, and also another key of importance here, detail is that the fee structure runs from month to, like, on a monthly calendar. So say you open your store on October 12th today. Say you open your store on October 12th and, you make $25 in sales, or I think the fee structure $24.99 or whatever. Say that it's from October 12th to October 31st. You're going to pay those fees. So it's what you should do is what I suggest is, say you want to start selling on Sport Lots today, October 12th. Start your store, but put it in vacation mode and just start adding inventory so you can go live on November 1st. So you capture an entire month. Otherwise, you're going to pay a ton in fees because you're not scaling up. So you can scale up while you're in vacation mode, and I would definitely suggest doing that. I don't sell on Sport Lots anymore. I was heavily selling on Sport Lots in like 2016 and 2017, and it just became too much for me. It's a great medium for Mike Summer. Has great success doing it. He's way more organized than I am. That was kind of my downfall. I was starting to spend too much time, trying to find a card because it got misplaced or whatever. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. And basically anything in the last, focus on last 3 years. What I found, I was spending so much time sorting and listing like 81 tops, and I'm like, oh, it's early 80s tops, which that stuff will sell on eBay, but on Sport Lots it took forever because there's a lot of competition, and B, there's not much demand for some 81 tops commons. Now I'm not saying they don't sell, but pay attention to how much time you're putting into it. I was putting way too much time into it, not making those sales, and it's like, and I know one of the local card shops around here does a lot of Sport Lots. And I was buying bargain, like what I call bargain. He called them junk boxes, and they were junk boxes, but they were like 2000, 3 years before Bowman, and there were some hidden gems in there because basically he pulled all his inventory from prior to 3 years or new inventory that he got in. If it was older than 3 years, he wouldn't spend the time to list it because there's just not as much demand for that. But hey, for $20 for like a 3-row shoebox, and there was some good stuff in it. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, be honest, Frank carried the last 87 shows. Bo, don't want Sport Lots to take off. They are your biggest competition in my mind. I would probably agree with that. That's they are, competition. And in most cases, I would say it's cheaper. But what's on my side is eBay so easy, and everybody knows eBay. And you don't have to shop around to find those deals. If you only want a 1977 Topps football card of Brian Bashnagel, trying to find a Bears player, you can look on eBay and boom, find it. Hey, Bo's got one for $1.50 free shipping. You go to Sport Lots and it's like, okay, this one's 20 cents. How much is shipping? Well, how do I do this? And I guess, you could find one for maybe 75 cents, get it for 95 cents. But it might take a lot longer. So yeah. So they definitely are some competition. Let's see. Good morning, Diego. What is up? Pepino Man says, I have a friend who breaks on Whatnot. Offer me money to break for him. I guess his sales are struggling. I think that's kind of, there's a dealer that was doing a lot of Whatnot sales, like in the summer months. And he was all about buying bulk and he wanted to buy a bunch of my bulk, but it was a lot. And I get this a lot where it's like, I have people interested in my quarter boxes and I'm like, if you buy them today, you can have them at this price. And they're like, ooh, but I don't have the money today. It's like, okay, well, next week, 2 weeks, that deal's off the table. This is today, right now, because I don't want to take these home. And the price goes up. Let's see. Ed says, not a fan of Whatnot or Sport Lots. Zach and Porter says, Bo, you literally just said what I typed above. Max says, is anybody really a fan of Backyard? Probably. Well, apparently there are a lot of fans because they fill all their breaks and make a ton of money. So I think there are fans. I would venture to guess nobody watching this video series is a fan of Backyard breaks. Let's see. Brian says, oh my God, you have to go on Whatnot and watch the thrift store people. Craziest people you will ever see, selling super used thrift store concert shirts. I mean, it's awesome. There's a huge market, and I know Ken was doing this. Ken was going to thrift stores and getting t-shirts, and there's a market for old t-shirts. Like, I couldn't believe, I've got some old t-shirts in my closet, and I've like looked on eBay and it's like, whoa. Now that's a list, I don't know if anybody's buying them at those prices. Well, I mean, Ken sold a bunch. So there's a market out there, especially I think concert shirts definitely, but I had some old, like, because I'm a hoarder, like I keep all my sports, usually jerseys, like t-shirts. My wife helps me put those in the Goodwill donation bin. But it's like some of those older shirts, they do sell. Jenny says Sport Lots won't get the sellers leaving eBay because the fee structure is way too. I hope I make enough sales to not have to pay 50% fees this month. And that's essentially what it is. The Sport Lots fee structure is you're listing to avoid fees. And that's kind of like that's their thing. Let's see. That's a joke for a seller, and that's exactly how it is. I mean, you're not listing, you're listing more to avoid fees than to make sales. If that makes any, I don't know if I'm saying that as eloquently as I should, but essentially, yes, you're listing to avoid fees and not make sales. Mark says, which I guess goes hand maybe that doesn't make sense because the more sales, the less fees. So you are doing it to make sales, so you have less fees. Let's see. So I guess they go hand in hand. Mark says, if it takes me more than 3 prompts to buy a card, I'm out there. So, okay. Mark said it perfectly. That's the eloquence I needed. If it takes me more than 3 prompts to buy a card, I'm out. eBay's easy. Search 1977 Topps Brian Bashnagel. Boom, click buy. If you're on eBay, you likely have everything saved. So you just click buy it now. It's already paid for because it's saved. Your account stuff is saved in eBay. Boom. It's kind of like Amazon. Sport Lots is a little different because you have to like actively look for deals. If you want that 77 Topps Brian Bashnagel, you've got to go, okay, do I, this, you know, and you don't know, especially when you're getting into like 70s cards, they could be pretty beat up. And you don't know because you're not showing photo. There's not photos of the cards. Fall Creek says, Whatnot is mostly live singles auctions and breaks. I bought from 2 different sellers. They have shipping figured out. Red Light 34, best show in the morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, a lot of disrespect for Mercari around here. For shame. I don't know really. Do I have Mercari on my phone? I do have a dealer that sells the. I only have one person that I know that I can think of off the top of my head that sells on Mercari, and he loves it. I mean, he has issues. He was telling me about an issue he had at the last Madison card show with somebody on Mercari. I don't think I do have it. But he's like, I'm like, because then after he told me his story, basically if you sell on eBay, you have your eBay stories. And I think you're going to have that on any platform. So he was talking about that. And I'm like, how is Mercari? And he loves it. Jenny says, I watched Hobby Hotline on the, I watched Hobby Hotline on the buysportscard.com CEO. And to be honest, I haven't even looked into it. I had good intentions, but eBay just works. So why change what works? And that's kind of my thought. I think Buy Sports Cards was on Jeremy Lee's podcast this weekend also. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like eBay, I mean, that's the lane I've picked. And I'm going to stick to it, and it works. And just what Jenny says, eBay works. So why change what works? Absolutely. Diego says, I was never a dorky kid. I was always awesome. Let's see. Paige and Deanie Bean agrees. Jeremy says, good morning all. Congratulations on 700. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. D Young Cards. Did he come up with Banks? Oh, I'm trying to think. So I apologize because I'm so far behind in the chat. So I think you're talking about Vern Morgan. Did he? That's a great question. Because apparently he did make his debut August 10th, 1954. That's around the time Ernie came up. Let's see. Ernie Banks' debut was debut. Where am I at? Debut. Oh, he came up before. Ernie came up in September. Oh, wait. Ernie came up in 53. My bad. Ernie came up a year before. So Ernie came up September 1953. Vern Morgan came up August of 54. Let's see. Pepino Man, I love happy endings. Jenny says Maplewood Mall is in Maplewood on White Bear Avenue. So it is Maplewood, Minnesota, which is odd, though, because White Bear is also a city in Minnesota right next to Maplewood. Well, that makes, I wonder, does White Bear, and I bet I hear here, I wonder is White Bear Avenue named that because it goes to White Bear? We have that with, although, no, we don't. So I live near Mineral Point Road, which you would think goes to Mineral Point, Wisconsin, but Mineral Point, Wisconsin's like an hour away, 45 minutes away. So I always, like, when I first moved here, I would drive, because I moved here from Macomb, Illinois, so I would come up like through Iowa. I would drive up to the Quad Cities, take 61 up to Dubuque, cross over through like Platteville and Mineral Point. And so when I saw Mineral Point, it's like, oh, it's a road going west. I bet it goes to Mineral Point, Wisconsin. No, it just stops at a T about 5 miles down the road. And then you go north into Cross Plains or south, eventually to Mount Horeb, the troll capital. Let's see. Kyle says, you don't even have to wear pants when you were self-employed. That's true. I do, though. I do wear pants. Let's see. Max says, you mow lawn in jeans. Dang, way too hot to be wearing jeans between February and November. No. I typically, I think I wore jeans. No, my last mow, I wore shorts. I usually wear shorts to mow. But I will wear jeans if it's like one of the colder days and I absolutely have to mow. Fortunately, the timing was right. So the last mow, it was like 70 last week or whatever day I mowed. So I still rocked shorts. But there are some days where it's jeans. Usually, like the early mows in the spring where it can get a little chilly, I'm wearing jeans. But I guess you're right. Most mowing times I'm wearing shorts. But I wear jeans like I don't start breaking out the shorts until like May. And I started wearing jeans a few weeks ago. So May to September, I wear shorts. May through September, I wear shorts. October through April, I wear jeans. Let's see. Although, like if it's warm in like if we have like a warm day in February, January even, I'll break out shorts. If it's like 50 degrees in January, I'll break out shorts. If it's 50 degrees in September, I'm breaking out the jeans. It's all relative. Because 50 degrees in September is cold, 50 degrees in January is hot. Victor says, I have been working from home since March 2020, and I have not wore any office attire. And that was, and I think I've shared this sentiment in the past. So I went from radio to where it was like, wear whatever the hell you want, basically like working from home. To working at the university where it was like you have a dress code. And then I went to the office for the company that I previously worked for. We had a pretty strict dress code initially, and then it became looser and looser with management changes. But I had one manager who he was like, we don't need a dress code. And I was like, I think we should have a dress code. And I was like, and then COVID hit and I'm working from home and I went back to the office and I wore because I went back to the office for the home stretch of my employment there. I went back to the office and it was in the summer. Was it like May or June when I went back to the office? And I think I had never wore shorts at this job in the 7 years I had worked there. And now I'm wearing shorts every day. So it totally changed my mind. The pandemic totally changed my mindset on office dress code. And now it's like, yeah, wherever the hell you want. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says the jean scale is an evolution. Good jeans eventually become yard work jeans in time. Definitely. Same with shoes. I have now, now it's not graduate because it's kind of like they've been demoted from like everyday, from like nice shoes to everyday shoes to yard work shoes. Terry says I have out in public clothes and around the house clothes. Card Hobbyist says tomorrow is my mom's birthday as well. She'll be 77. Nice. Happy birthday to Card Hobbyist's mom. Straight Execution, what's up? Do you need to do laundry so your nice jeans are clean again for your wife's birthday dinner? My wife actually did my laundry this week. I brought down some laundry and I will say, straight execution. Yes. So it was Sunday and I'm like, oh crap, my good jeans are dirty. I need to do a load of laundry. And so I had, my wife was doing a load. So she was like in laundry mode. And I think I took the dog for a walk and I came back and she's like, I brought all your laundry down. I'll just do the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Brian says $18 PSA submissions coming back from National. So way less than 4 months. And they aren't nickel and diming me so far. Very good. So many cards over the $199 max value and no upcharge. Fingers crossed. Congrats. That is awesome. I need to put I need to gather up my next submission for SGC. Jenny says, so your bride's birthday gift last year was congrats. Your husband is quitting his job and loading the house with baseball cards even more than ever. Yes. Yes, it was. 608 Sports Cards. What's up? Good morning. Are you setting up this weekend? I will not be set up this weekend. I I really don't know what I'm doing this. I don't think any of us know. It's just going to be like all hands on deck, deep breaths. So I'm not sure what to expect, but no, I will not be set up. I won't be set up in Madison either. I'm trying to think, and I've been saying this for the last 6 months. I'm trying to figure out a way. I've noticed there's been some demand for certain products at the Madison Card Show that I would like to set up, but I think I need to do something differently before I can do that. Abraham says Lauren and I are making it to Northern Illinois weekend. Making it a Northern Illinois weekend. We'll be at the Midwest premiere on Sunday. Awesome. Jenny says she knew what she was in for, though. LOL. He drove them through a tornado warning on the night of their dinner for their wedding prep to pick up a case of. It was Ginter, Allen and Ginter. But yes, you are exactly correct. Red Light 34. Any good programs out there to organize my cards? Trading card database. No, that's I think it starts and ends there. I think some people use Beckett. I've never used Beckett. I think you have to pay for Beckett. I don't know. I know John Keating uses Beckett. I don't think he's in here this morning, but I know a lot. Like Jenny will. She's like the trading card database whisperer. She can definitely answer any questions you have. Zach and Porter use it. Quite a bit as well. So there's a lot of people in this chat that can answer that question for you. And in fact, they may have already answered that question for you as I peruse the chat. Pepino Man says, I wore jeans with a hole in the knees in a mosh pit. I got knocked down. My knee ripped through the hole and my leg got stuck and I couldn't get up. Security had to rescue me and carry me out. Now that's a story. I'm curious, what concert was that? Or was it just a random mosh pit? TCDB is probably the best free option. There you go, card hobbyist. Nailed it. Pepino, where you at the Dodgers game last night? Let's see. PNW says, I have heard of Cardiacs before, but they looked reputable. I bought 6 as a trial. They already shipped, and if it goes well, I'm thinking of buying a case. Excellent. Thank you for that. Ricardo says, I'm going to try to make it to Love's Park. Not setting up, though. Awesome. Let's see. Pepino says, where are we at? Oh, I skipped ahead. There's John. John is in the chat. I got to scroll up. Let's see. Here we are. Pepino Man says, yes, I was at the Dodgers game. We tarped the field. It started raining hard after the game. Terry says, I thought that I never heard of Sport Lots, but I went there and had an account I opened years ago and forgot about. Yeah, I was selling heavily on Sport Lots in like 2016, 17. But I went back and I was selling on Sport Lots in like 2006, 2005. And guess what? The website looked the same back then as it does now. Jenny says 56 watching. Let's rip the Bowman U. Now we're down to 48. Let's see. That is a Tesla, Henry says. Terry, are you going to Maplewood Mall show this weekend? Straight Execution says, FYI, I stopped moving cards and do clothes on eBay. I make more in clothes. Yeah, your sales are definitely going to be higher on a cost basis. I've thought about, I've got a closet full of stuff, and it's like, you know what? I wonder if I should try at least list it. I mean, shoot, that's what I do every day. List. Might as well list some old t-shirts. Cooter, good morning. Henry says, I used to find some old tees at thrifts, but not so much. I got an 80s Seahawks shirt for 50 cents, and it's like a $35 shirt. There's probably some hardcore thrifters that like just smell, like I smell out those Goodwill pallets. I bet there's thrifters that smell out the concert t-shirts. Let's see. And I think those are because Goodwill puts auctions up and they sell them like that. So I'm wondering if they pick out some of those higher dollar shirts. I don't know. Johnny Boy Card says, Mercari, I have some cards listed, but not many sales. Let's see. Randy says, question, I need 4 cards from the 78-79 Topps NBA set. What is the cheapest way to get them? I believe they are commons. I would say probably Sport Lots. Let's just go. You know what? I may have. I've got a lot of late 70s basketball, but I don't know where they're at. Let's see if we go on. We're going to search by set. Let's just go to 78. Tops. Base set. See, there is a lot of it's in the search functions, not like I would already be scouring. So sportlots.com, let's just take a player, Wes Unseld. There's 7 Wes Unselds available. One of them's 20 cents, but it's in good condition. So if you do have condition sensitivity, you're going to pay a little more. One guy has one listed for 58 cents. It's very good. Now, you're going to also have to pay shipping. So let's say a good condition will work. So it's 20 cents. You got to click on the dealer, and that brings up his budget shipping. His cheapest option for shipping is $3.50. So for a basically a crappy condition, you're paying $3.70. Let's see. Witavexa is 58 cents. It's a very good condition. His cheapest is $1.35 shipping, so you're going to pay over $2. So I think in this instance, your best bet's going to be eBay. And so like I would have, so just if I had a stack of 78, 79 Topps NBA cards, they would all be $1.50 free shipping. Randy, I will keep a lookout. I'll keep an eye out on those because I know I have come across them, and I don't know if I've listed them already. Actually, now that I have Card Dealer Pro, it's a lot easier because it was one of those where it's like, I don't want to put these on File Exchange. But I can do that with Card Dealer Pro in no time. So I will keep an eye out, but I would say right now, eBay is probably your best bet. Cooter, September's 53. That's on Ernie Banks' debut. Jenny says, tonight is Survivor night. I think it would be fun to have this group all on an island. Who of us would be the survivor of $1 million? I can tell you I would not be a survivor. I would probably be the first to go because I am not outdoorsy whatsoever. So yeah, I'm not surviving that island. I'm not winning $1 million. 608 says, I use Whatnot for breaks. You can find some steals on team breaks. People will sell team spots for next to nothing if they can't fill a break. Got into one last night for $1 a team on Pro Debut. Oh my gosh, 608. Now I'm going to have to look at Whatnot. John says, Bo, who died? You look like you're in mourning. This is actually, I think this is blue. This is actually a navy blue shirt. Let's see. Ironically, John, as you mentioned that, tonight we're celebrating my wife and my wife's grandma's birthdays. We're having birthday dinner this evening. Let's see. Paige and Deanie Bean says, but if other selling platforms had the same traffic and functionality as eBay and there was no listing fee, would you stay with eBay? No. Or wait, yes, I would stay with eBay. Well, actually, let me break down this thought again. If other selling platforms had the same traffic and functionality as eBay and there was no listing fee, would I stay with eBay? No, I would go to the other platform with the same traffic and no listing fees. That's a no-brainer. But we're not going to see that happen in maybe ever. Never say never, but the traffic on eBay, I mean, 25 years of existence, that's a hard. So yeah, in that hypothetical question, would I stay with eBay? Probably not, because if I have no listing fee and the same traffic, it's a no-brainer to go to the other platform. Boom Slang, what is up? Let's see. Jenny says to 608, that's a perfect example why it's not good for sellers, but great for buyers. John wants to know if I go commando. I am wearing pants. Let's see. Here we go. Did you list some hockey and soccer cards in your eBay store? No, I did not. My last job, I was so mad they did not implement a dress code for the kitchen staff. They had servers wearing sweatpants. Oh, that's nice. Do you wear jorts? Not anymore. No, I did when I was a kid, but they were cool in the 80s. They were cool. Jorts were the thing, and it was even like if your jeans had holes in them, you just cut them, and now you have a new pair of shorts. Let's see. Brian says I fell. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, where are we at? Brian says, I fell anything other than PSA and I'm throwing away money. John says, do you see an eventual collusion between graders to keep prices higher? Seems like they'll all realize the low prices are not sustainable. That's a good question. I don't know. What I didn't like is SGC's video, and I still need to watch the entirety, but in the clips that I saw, I didn't like that video. And I actually have a friend who's into grading, and he grades with both PSA and SGC. He's more of a PSA wonk. And I think he is because he had a fairly poor experience with a recent submission to SGC. And so I think he's just kind of jaded by SGC at the moment. And he said SGC is a follower, and they're really not. Like, he's like, they always follow pricing on PSA. I mean, they've been lower than PSA for over a year. But now I think they did drop their price, and I don't know if it was in reaction to PSA. I don't know. But that's an interesting question. Are the low prices sustainable? I think, and this is, so my thought process behind the lowering of prices is, are they prepared? Like, and I know they're long-standing companies, so they're very savvy. And I'm sure that the thought has been put in, like, what is sustainable for our graders, and what can we handle volume-wise with these lower prices? And I think it is sustainable, because unless there's another pandemic and another pandemic where people are like jumping on the grading train again, I think it is sustainable because there's just not demand. There's not the demand. The reason that things were so far behind was there was so much demand because we were in the middle of a pandemic and everybody started collecting cards again, and flipping and making a quick buck in slabs. So I think it is sustainable now because there's just not the demand that we saw a year ago, 2 years ago. Let's see. Jenny says, John is here, but we got both so far behind in the chat. Sportlot's website reminds me of Oregon Trail, old school. Oh yeah, loved Oregon Trail. Did your 2006 Sportlot's order ship yet? Don't get me started on concert shirts. Low Roller wants to know, did I buy McDonald's adult Happy Meals? No. You can flip the toys, sell it on your eBay store. No, I did not, and I will not. Let's see. Pepino Man says it was a Bad Brains concert at the Whiskey A Go-Go that took my daughter to. Card Hobbyist says, used to love Bad Brains in my more angsty days. Pepino says there was a younger thrifting influencer that seemed out of Metallica shirts. She didn't know it was a band. She thought it was a brand. That's funny. Let's see. 70s Card Show says Pepino Man would outlast us all on the island. Clark Standish, congrats on 700. Thank you. I appreciate that. Terry says eBid has been around a long time and most people have never heard of them. I do. I think I recall eBid, and yeah, they've been around since the late 90s too, correct? Card Hobbyist has to run. Thanks for jumping on. Cooter says, I've heard someone is going to release a video about an SGC submission he did, but that just may be a rumor. When was that, in like July? Did I do that submission in July? And I still have the slabs. Can you see them on camera? Let's see, box 8 over. Let's see. Can you see? Where's that tube up? I'm trying to. Nope, you can't see. That's only the back end. They're over there on that shelf. Let's see. Jenny says, please no more pandemics. I'm with you on that. We got to rip the blaster. I've got 17 minutes to go. Jury trial. Oh man, bummer. I'm just going to pull the closest one. We're going to rip some Bowman U. Thank you to P&W for that link. I'm going to buy some hobby boxes, some more, because I haven't had enough Bowman U. Card Dealer Pro, what is up? Congrats. Thank you. We're going to open some Bowman U. I'm down to 9. Those are the only blasters I have. But thanks to P&W, we found a cheap hobby box solution. $75. I mean, that's insane. My case, what was my case price on boxes? Like 110? What was the math on that? I think $110, maybe 115. Let's see. Let's do the math. Divided by 12. Yeah, like $110 was my hobby box. Paige and Dee Bean wants to know. I went to the dentist yesterday. It was the best dentist experience of all time because A, most importantly, I was only in the chair for 10 minutes, and B, they didn't have to like numb me. That's like I don't hate the dentist for being a dentist or personally or what he's doing inside my mouth. I hate the dentist because I hate being strapped in that chair. And I guess, the whole dental work thing kind of sucks as well. But no, I had, and I told the story yesterday, like half of this front tooth here, I was being a little squirrel when I was like 10 years old, hit the concrete hit my face on the concrete and chipped half my tooth off. It's been a fake half tooth for 30 years. And like some of it chipped, like the back of it chipped live on a Hobby Evolution episode. So I had that fixed. It took 10 minutes, didn't even have to get numb, a little bit of filling, and it was like $400. But my dentist is cool. He's from Elgin, Illinois, and he's a Cubs fan, big baseball fan. So I think we spent more time talking about baseball than he spent fixing my tooth yesterday morning. So the filling went great. He did tell a cool story though, and I'll share this. He has a son who's a freshman in college in Maine, which we're in Wisconsin. So Maine to Wisconsin, there's a lot of states in between, so it's far from home. And he was so proud. He was beaming with pride, because I don't have kids, but I assume when you're a father and you have a child that goes to school 2,000 miles away and it's his first time away from home in college, there's probably this concern, like you're worried for their safety and, are they going to be okay? Are they going to fit in? All of that stuff that goes through your head as a father, I assume. And so he's beaming with pride because on Sunday, his roommate in college in Maine is from San Diego. And the Mets, the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres are playing, and it was the go home, the go home game, winner go home game in New York at Shea Stadium. What's it called now? Whatever, it's Shea Stadium to me. So they took a train. They hopped on a train, him and his roommate on Sunday, hopped on a train down to the Big Apple and went to the baseball game and then stayed in a hostel. And my dentist was like so proud of his college freshman taking the train down to the big city to watch a baseball game. I thought that was really cool. The story was cool. And then just seeing the father's pride was very cool. Let's see. Pepino Man says, I remember PSA being $8 a card, and I thought that was too much a few years ago. Right? Rain and sports have prevented our lawn being mowed, finally mowed on Monday, and now wolf spiders are all over the downstairs. Yeah, I don't know what a wolf spider is. I chipped my tooth the same day, still waiting on the permanent crown. 700. You really chipped yours. Mine was just a little bit. That was an expensive day for the two of us. Yes, it was. How crazy was that we both chipped a tooth on the same day? Hey, first card, Graham Mertz, quarterback, Wisconsin Badgers, had a much better game last Saturday against Northwestern, a 42-7 win for Wisconsin over Northwestern. Here we go. Kenny Pickett. I have been selling these. He had a pretty bad game this past Sunday, but he's finally playing. So we like that for our Bowman U cards. Kenneth Walker. Are there werewolf spiders? Yeah, I don't know what's Paige and DDB says Google it. Wolf spider. We had I'll have to share this story for another day. So Paige and Deanie Bean, if you want to hear my spider story from my radio days, we had an invasion of brown recluse spiders when I worked in radio. And so it was a free day off. CJ Stroud, first Bowman, got a day off because the exterminator had to come get rid of brown recluse spiders. And there's and it's kind of scary thinking back because of where they were and here's Justin Ross, pink chrome. So we'll set him aside to sleeve. Will Levis, these cards have been, I think I've sold every Will Levis first Bowman that I've pulled. John says, I broke down on my honeymoon in Elgin, Illinois. Hank Bachmeyer, Boise State Broncos. David, what is up? Happy 700. Let's see a big kahuna, Kenny. I did pull a base, Kenny. I don't know if you saw it, but we did pull this one. Opening a blaster box of Bowman U. We've got Ohio State's Chris Olave. Am I saying that correctly? Any Ohio State fans in the house? Connor Bazelak. Let's see. He is, I think, the quarterback at Indiana now. Here we've got a refractor of Peyton Thorne, Michigan State. Let's see. Paige and Deanie B says wolf spiders can be up to 2 inches. That seems like a big spider. Henry says, I just saw a PSA 9 Rocky 2 Topps card sell for $735. I remember when a whole set of 80 plus was under 10. That is insane. Terry said, I sold my last Levis a few days ago. Yeah, he's been a hot sell. I mean, some mock drafts have him as the number 1 overall pick next year. Derek Stingley, LSU. We've got Xavier Worthy. Actually, I don't know where he goes. I thought that might have been Miami Hurricanes. I'm not sure. We've got Jaden Hazelwood, and some of these guys are already in the NFL, so they're that really confuses me. Like the guy next, not Kyrus Jackson, but Romeo Dobbs. He's been another hot seller. I've been selling a lot of Romeo Dobbs. He's with the Packers now. We've got 3 packs left. Here, I'm going to go with this one. This one feels lighter. I always like to save the best for last. Levis or Levi's jeans. John Mechie. We kill spiders all year, then hang their... Pepino, man, couldn't have said it better. We kill spiders all year, then hang their pictures all over the house on Halloween, right? Raheem Jarrett and DeMarvin Leal. I think he's Texas A&M, Leal. So let's see. These actually both feel heavy. So these are probably just pink refractors. Let's see. So I see some pink. We've got Tyler Van Dyke. I think he's with Miami now. And it's funny because a lot of these guys like Tyler Van Dyke, Connor Bazelak, Spencer Rattler, they're in their last college uniforms. They have since transferred. Michael Penix is another one that's transferred. Shamir Adike from Wisconsin. He had a big game against Northwestern. Here is, I know Mike Harley. Well, I think he might be in the NFL, but he played for the Miami Hurricanes. Dylan Gabriel from Boomer Sooner. And, this is a good one. Bryce Young, Alabama Crimson Tide. Whenever I hear Alabama Crimson Tide, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I have to say it in a Keith Jackson voice. The Alabama Crimson Tide. Final pack, blaster. I'm down to like 9 blasters of Bowman U. Who would have thunk it? Bo Nix. Here's another case. Former Auburn quarterback. I think he's now the quarterback at Oregon. Now I say, here's pronunciation. I say the state of Oregon. Like the Oregon Trail. Oregon. But now there's a town that's south of Madison, and I call it Oregon. And I get annoyed when people call the state Oregon. It's not Oregon, it's Oregon. But the town I call Oregon. Weird, I don't know. It's kind of like I route and route. Route 66. Route 6. I don't know. Hudson Card, Texas Longhorns. Henry says, remember when people bob for apples at Halloween, swapping spit in the ick pool of old apples? Oh my God, yes. Dalton Kincaid, and finally, a fun name to say, DJ Ugalele. And I'm probably mispronouncing that as well. Clemson Tigers. See, Clemson Tigers doesn't sound as fun as Alabama Crimson Tide. All right. So thank you, Jenny. We opened a Bowman U box. Jenny says, it's a really good thing you put your garbage out last night, running long show today. Yeah, here we are. And I think I put that in the notes today in the description that who would have thought? I never would have thought I would have gotten to 700 episodes because I just started this. It's a pandemic. I'm bored. I'm not talking to anybody except my dog and my wife. I just want to talk into the microphone and it would be like a 15-minute, like, here are some insights that I have. Here's some opinions. Here's my mail day. And here we are, 700 episodes later, an hour and a half in, opening blasters, talking about wolf spiders and sport lots and all of that other stuff. So thank you all. Thank you all. Cooter says we have a Miami, Oklahoma, but you will be drawn and quartered if you don't pronounce it Miami. 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 Love it. Love it. That's kind of like Illinois pronunciation. We have Marseilles, which is spelled like Marseille, and it was actually named after Marseille. We have Cairo down on the southern tip of Illinois, Cairo, Illinois. It's pronounced like the syrup, Cairo, but it's spelled the same as Cairo. And in fact, they call that area of Illinois Little Egypt. What else? We have Milan, Illinois, which is around the Quad Cities. I call it part of the Quad Cities. Milan, which is spelled the same as Milan. Also, not far from Milan, we have Orion, which is spelled like Orion. So those are some of the Illinois pronunciation. Oh, San Jose, Illinois, south of Peoria, San Jose. It's spelled San Jose. I stopped at a Casey's in San Jose, and I was on a this is how long ago it was. This was pre-cell phone. I was going to a playoff football game in Flanagan, Illinois. My alma mater, Anawan Braves. So this is probably like 2001 or 2002. I was driving across the state from western to eastern, and I had taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. There's a Bugs Bunny reference. I had taken a wrong turn in Havana, which actually is pronounced and spelled the same as Havana, Cuba. I took a wrong turn in Havana. I was supposed to take a left, and I went straight, and I ended up in Petersburg, Illinois, which is just outside of Springfield. When I realized where I was at, oh crap, I'm going to run late. I didn't get to the football game until halftime, so I had to tell my friends. I think they did have a cell phone. And actually, this might have been, I did have a cell phone because it was like 2002. I had a cell phone, but this was back in 2002 when, like, if you were out of range, you couldn't make a phone call. And I was out of range. So I had to stop at a payphone in San Jose, Illinois. I'm at a payphone. First off, I didn't know how to use a payphone. I had used payphones as a kid to like prank call my friends, but I didn't know how to properly use a payphone at this point in time. So first off, I had to ask the cashier at the San Jose Casey's how to use a payphone, and she just kind of looked at me like, "You dumbass." So I put the quarter in. I called someone who cares. Got a hold of my friends, like, "Hey, I'm in San Jose, Illinois." They're like, "Where in the hell is San Jose?" The cashier, already annoyed that she had to explain how to use a payphone, shouts out, "It's San Jose." I'm like, oh, I struck a nerve with this lady. So San Jose, Illinois. But I got to the game at halftime. It was an exciting game. Anawan won. Go Braves. So here we go. Let's see. Jordan says, hour and a half in, and I'm finally able to make it to a live for the first time. Awesome, Jordan. Thanks for jumping on. G. John Sports says, with NIL and all these players changing teams, Bowman, you will have to do an update or traded set, right? Let's see. Terry says, I was getting ready to say Cairo. John says, did you say Pentagon or Pentagon? Pentagon. Touche, John. Touche. David says, I know you really liked Bowman U because of the timing of the release and all the first Bowmans, etc. But have you heard if Prism draft picks will include underclassmen on NIL deals, and any interest if it does? I have not thought that is interesting. I don't know. So that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if they can legally do that. Because Panini's NCAA license does not mesh with the NIL. So NIL and NCAA is completely separate. So even if, this is how I think this works. NIL deals are separate from NCAA. So say Hudson Card plays for the Texas Longhorns. Say Hudson Card signs a Panini deal. Even though Panini has the NCAA license, they cannot put him into a Texas Longhorns uniform because it's an NIL deal with Hudson Card. Now, how I think Topps will be able to get around this is Topps has made NIL deals with the actual institutions. So, say Topps has a deal with the Texas Longhorns. They can put Hudson Card in a Texas Longhorns uniform because that deal kind of supersedes the NCAA deal. That's how I think, and I could be, if somebody that actually knows can correct me or confirm that that's the case. That's how I read it with the release that Topps put out, Fanatics put out. And I guess it's Fanatics, not Topps, which Fanatics owns Topps. So I don't think that would work how it's currently set up with Panini, because I don't think Panini has deals with the individual institutions. And again, if somebody can confirm or correct that point. However, I'll answer the question. If Prism draft picks did include underclassmen on NIL deals, would I be interested? I don't know. I think it's a Bowman thing for me. I love Bowman. So I don't think I would be. I don't think I would have any interest. I think it's a Bowman thing for me. I will be more. Now, as much as I love Bowman U in its current form, next year, under this contract at Fanatics, many of these players will actually be in their college uniforms because Fanatics signed something like 100 contracts with 100 NCAA institutions. So they'll be able to put Hudson Card in a Texas Longhorns uniform or, whoever it is under that NIL deal with the institutions. So that will be really cool. And I'll be all on board. Terry says, as we're about to go, we need more people to like the 700th episode. Please, I appreciate that. Thank you, Terry. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Usually I don't go in an hour and a half, but hey, it's the 900. Well, I'm fast forwarding into the future. It's the 700th episode Extravaganza. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. David adds, guessing probably not at $30 a blaster, which seems to be the floor for Prism these days. And Price also has the product itself, even if it was $20 a blaster. And I think that's another reason I guess I didn't throw that on. At $20 a blaster box, I think it's a great deal. At $30, would I pay $30 for Bowman U? Probably not. Well, I would in small increments. Would I buy 75 blasters? No. Would I buy 5? Yes. Prism, the product itself, I'm just not a Prism guy. I love Bowman. So I think it's more of a product point, but price as well. Even at $20, I'd probably pick up a few. Even at $20, and I don't know, maybe I would say, oh, this is an awesome product. I love it. I think right now I would say no. I would stick to Bowman. But you throw something in front of me and I might like it and change my mind. So my mind is open. But here in the right now, I would say no. Brian, what's up? Congrats on 700. Glad I could catch the end. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for the comment. Thank you everybody for powering this thing to 700 episodes. We'll be back at it again tomorrow for episode 701. And who knows what we're going to talk about tomorrow? Who knows what we're going to talk about any day? If you do have any suggestions, usually we just chat it out here in the chat. And sometimes I'm 20 minutes behind, but we'll catch up. So thanks again. Like, subscribe. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for Hobby Evolution. Have a great Wednesday.